Rudy Tokiwa, a veteran of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team who volunteered from the internment camp in Poston, Arizona at the age of 16 to serve for the U.S. in World War II.
I have to apologize to a lot of people who helped me figure out what I was going to say. But as I was sitting there and I made up my mind, I don't want to just go through the thing. I want to talk and say how I felt and how I feel my war buddies felt. Like she said, I was only 16 when I went in the Army. And I know my mother argued and told me, she says, "You've got to talk to them. How can they take you when you are only 16? That's against the law." But when I looked at my father, he never said a word. And I believe the reason why he did not say anything to me or too derogatory or make me feel bad was because he was a veteran of World War I. He volunteered with the understanding that he would become an American citizen. But to the day that he died, he was not an American citizen. He was a man without a country. And you know, I always compare this to what these people in the MIS, the 100th Battalion, the 442nd, what they have done for us. They didn't have to volunteer. They didn't have to go out there. You know, I got to talk about this one fellow because when we were in France and we were fighting to go in to try to rescue part of the 36th Division, now can you imagine? They're depending on the people that they call dirty Japs. We were the ones that the United States government was depending on us going in and rescuing the sons of the people from Texas. And people always stop to think and they say, well, what about it? To me, it's a very strong story because actually they tried to do it themselves. You know, a division has 3 times the amount of men that we had. And they were going to try to do it themselves, and they could not move. And this was when that thought came up. They got one hell of an outfit around here someplace, and they're full of Japs. Let's let them go in. And go in we did. And we had made the rescue. But during the time that we were going in to make this rescue, I had lost my assistant runner, so they gave me another fellow. And when I talked to him, I knew exactly he wasn't born and raised in America because he had the wrong accent. And so I asked him, I says, "What are you doing here?" I says, you was born and raised in Japan, weren't you? He says, "Yes." And I says, "Well, what in the devil are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I was going to school, living in a Hakujing home, a white person's home, when the war broke out. And everybody around that area start calling these people Jap lovers and everything. And he said, I could not just stand there and let them be harassed. So I volunteered to come into the 442nd. You know, here is a fellow fighting a war just to prove that the people that took care of him to give him board and room so he can get an education in this country was really an American too. And you know how long he lasted with me? 15 minutes later, he had got shot. You know, I think about these things, and I think about the block in Poston, Arizona that I came from. I think we had the most volunteers to join the Army at that time. And just out of our block, there was 10 of us who volunteered. And even today, it's sort of hard for me to talk about it because only 3 of us returned. You know, I look at this and I sometimes think to myself, my God, what a price do we have to pay to be an American? And today, I would say that we are all proud Americans. And the only thing I can really ask people to do, because of the fact, don't forget, these people who are willing to give their lives for us, they didn't have to. A lot of them come out of a concentration camp. I don't think there would have been anybody that would have belittled them because they refused to serve. But these were the men who were strong enough and thought more of the future and were willing to give their lives for all of us, not just the Japanese Americans, not just the Chinese people, but everybody in the United States of America. They should learn about what these people did so that they can appreciate what this country is made of today. I can't say in the past, but as of today, what this country is made of. And I always think to myself, and I do say a few words every so often to these guys, and all I can say is, thank you for what you have done for us. We will never forget you. I thank you very much.